has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast.
All right, back at the Super Bowl on Radio Row, and we're gigging with Tyrone Tracy of the G-Man, Big Blue. And you know what's funny? So you grew up in Indy. You're from Indy, Naptown, and I went to IU. So when and I know you went to Iowa. You went to that Femi school out in the middle of nowhere in Iowa City at Carver Hawkeye. That dude right there, his name's Carver. So we call him Carver Hawkeye Arena. I call him Carver High. You're too young to know what Carver High is. It was a great show called The White Shadow back in the day.
Yeah.
It was all these brothers playing basketball at a high school, and they had this cracker coach, this white guy with a big belly. Great show. Look it up on streaming media. You'll love it. You'll watch 10 years of it. It's so great. And they had all these kids like playing ball and going through troubles in life. You would have loved it. So I worked for Bob Knight for 5 years. You know who that is, that crazy coach in Indiana?
Yeah.
When you grow up in Indianapolis, you know who Bob Knight is, right?
Yes.
So I went to IU. I worked for him for 5 years, and he called me A-hole for 42 years. That was my nickname. Like, every time he saw me, he called me A-hole. And I'm not talking about, like, that what I just said. I mean the real word.
Yeah.
And I was friends with him until he died. I've been to 13 Indianapolis 500s. I don't even like car racing. I just go because it's a party. I know you've been to it at least once.
Yes.
It's fun, right?
It's super fun.
It's cool.
And on top of that, like, you got people camping, for the whole week.
Partying in the infield.
Yes. Like,
there's a golf course out there.
Exactly. I'm telling you, it's dope. If people who haven't been, I would tell them at least go one time. Just take a camper or you
got to go.
Just go one time. Like, it's super dope.
What high school did you go to?
Decatur Central.
Decatur Central.
Yeah.
My buddy went to Carmel. I didn't like him.
You know Ben Davis?
Of course.
Yeah, I was going to go there. My mom and dad went there.
So why didn't you go there?
I want to do something a little bit different.
My other buddy went to Brebeuf.
Yeah.
Isn't that where the rich white kids go?
Yeah.
Brebeuf. I hate those kids.
Yeah, I couldn't go there either.
Why didn't you go to IU or Purdue? I hate Purdue. It smells.
Because out of high school, IU, they offered me like a day before I was signing.
Really?
And then Purdue, like, they just wasn't a good football.
They're horrible. Yeah, they still are horrible.
They was cool.
It's kind of a basketball school now.
Cool a couple years ago when I was there. It was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to the Big Ten Championship.
So you played for Ferentz.
Yeah.
Did you like Iowa City, or did
I like Iowa City.
So so you dated a bunch of farmer girls? I dated a farmer chick once, man. She was awesome in bed. I got to tell you, her dad would have killed me. I think he was a preacher. I was out in the barn with her in the hay, rolling around. She's like, "If my dad catches us, he's gonna kill you." I was like, "I'm still going for it." I did. I still went for it. I'm like, I can live with those odds. It was like 3 a.m. I was making out with her. I'm telling you. So I saw your boy Hyatt. He's over here pimping Hyatt hotels. Why hasn't he got you set up with like a Caribbean villa with Hyatt?
I have to call him.
Honestly.
Supposedly he's my boy. He's my
liar.
Boy. I don't see.
You know my dude Big Daddy set you up way more than him.
Yeah, he would.
You should have him do your insurance, your football. I always forget what they call it, disability insurance.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
And he does the states. He does my insurance.
What I need to do, I need to talk to both of them.
Have you ever gone out eating with him?
No.
My man eats like he's going to the electric chair. Like I used to go. I filmed a show. I eat so much food with him. I went and did a pilot with Strahan and him in a restaurant, and for 12 hours, all we did was eat. For 12 straight hours until I had gas. I mean, I was farting. I was like farting leaving the place. I had to pull over at this rest area to drop a yam on the way home. I couldn't make it to my house. I ate so much food with those dudes. Listen, I've eaten so much food down here in New Orleans and so many oysters. I think I've gained 7 to 10 pounds in 5 days.
See, I don't even like oysters though.
Well, that's all right. I just picked up right.
I could do crab.
Crab. They got clawfish, crab. I had crab meat on top of my grilled oysters last night.
That's crazy.
I even I had jambalaya. I had gumbo. I've already drank 2 bottles of rum, 2 full handles of rum.
You gotta tell me where you go, because you sound like you eating better than I am.
Bro, I'm gonna set you up so. All these people I know, I'm friends with, so you know I'm legit.
Yeah.
These are all my boys. So I'm gonna give you my phone. When you go back to New York, text me, it's your boy Tyrone Ferrall, and I'm going to go, all right, I'm going to give you a list of like 10 of the best restaurants, sexual, they're so good.
Yeah.
10 places, all near New York and Jersey,
all right,
that'll blow your mind. Because that's all I do.
I'm going to hold you to that.
When you're fat and old, all you do is locate quality restaurants and try to get, you're married 25 years and it starts getting limited, the amount of times you have sessions. So to get a session going, I got to take her out to a fancy restaurant. If I'm going to have relations, I got to take her out for a nice meal, like a $300 dinner, at least $400.
Yeah, so you get a little dessert.
Oh, when I got home, there's dessert, everything. Who needs dessert at the restaurant? Tiramisu with you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to get. So I told this story to Hyatt. I'm friends with your coach, and he was a great coach when he was fat and smoked cigars and ate and drank like a sailor. And then when his wife and you guys had all that femi, let's see who can lose the most weight on the team and on the front office, and we'll have a contest, see who can lose the most weight. And your boy started doing the Ozempic, and he started eating salads like a girl. He lost all that weight. He stopped drinking. What a femme. Like, I told Hyatt, I said, tell that phony-ass coach of yours, when he was fat and ugly and smoked cigars and drank like a sailor, he won Coach of the Year, and you guys went to the playoffs and beat the Vikings. Ever since he went skinny boy, he's like, he's he's getting up early, going for a walk, having yogurt for girls eat yogurt, okay? And then he started losing. Then he started doing TV shows, and he wasn't funny anymore. He wasn't entertaining. When he was fat and slovenly, and he smoked cigars with me and went out to dinner. I went to dinner with him once. We had 10 bowls of pasta and 5 bottles of wine. I literally had to find a cab to get back to the hotel. I was walking sideways in Phoenix with him drunk. And he was cool then. What, did he find God?
He cool now.
No, he isn't. He found God, and he's skinny. People.
That's not a crime.
Yeah, it is.
That's not a crime.
It is when you used to be cool.
He is. He's still cool. He still smokes cigars.
Yeah, but he's skinny.
He is, but that's good, though. That's good. He's going to live long.
Listen, bro, you're an athlete. You're a pure athlete. Running back, stud, ripped, carved, body, physical, lifting, working out. When you're old and you're the coach, look at Andy Reid. He's a fat ass, and he wins Super Bowls. If we had more fat people, you'd have rings all over your hand. Oh, my God, let me just see that watch. The only person that I've seen, I'm friends with Floyd Mayweather. He's the only person I know that has a nicer watch than that. Like, I have a nice watch.
Yeah, I want one like that.
I get a lot of action with this.
Yeah.
But that thing is so nice.
This is a little blingy.
I may be going blind. I may have just had don't
hype me up.
No, listen. I got to take a picture of that. I think it may have given me cornea damage. I honestly, Tyrone, no, listen to me. Listen to me. I honestly believe that just hold your hand out. Don't even do that to me. Hold on, I got to get a close-up of it. I don't even want your face in there. Just show me that. I got to get that. That is the greatest watch I've ever seen. I may have cornea damage.
Cornea damage?
Yeah, I'm blinded. I'm like, I'm Ray Charles.
Yeah.
I may start playing the piano and singing songs because your watch has blinded me. I'm having trouble seeing right now.
Hey.
I may be having greasy eye where you get a little greasy eye.
Yeah.
Listen, I hope you guys turn it around.
I will.
I hope you get a great player in the draft. You guys can haze him. Is there hazing allowed in the NFL? No?
No hazing.
No hazing.
No.
I'll do it to him. I'm going to give you my number. Let's hook up. I'll get you some good restaurants. Thanks for coming on, bro. My man.
Thank you.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
You want me to solve all this tush-push and fourth down malarkey that goes on with the officials? Here's a crazy idea. Get rid of the worst rule in the NFL, and that is forward progress. How about this? Where I knock your ass on the ground is where the ball goes, period. Let's end this whole conversation. Like, if I drop you back 4 yards, then you lost 4 yards. If we get rid of forward progress, this tush-push and everything else is taken care of. Where I put your tail on the ground is where the ball goes, end of conversation. It's the dumbest rule and the most arbitrary rule. The only thing that is a worse call in the NFL than forward progress is the punt that goes out of bounds when you watch the official walk down the sideline having absolutely no clue where that ball crossed over. All I can think of is that Price is Right game go do-de-do-de-do, do-de-do-de-do, as he's walking down the sideline, arbitrarily trying to figure out where the ball crossed over because he's got no clue.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Is it just a matter of his contract, his age? I mean, usually things like this get fixed pretty quickly, but this one is not fixed, and now it's just super uncomfortable.
The opportunity or the idea of getting another team involved adds more complication to the situation, and it doesn't seem like a resolution is anywhere in sight, but the more suspensions come in, the more it's clear that the saga is over, or his time there is over.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
I want to know what Luke Ayamilpada, what did he say was the name of the place at Indy? The Snake Pit or something? Yeah. DJ with 50,000 people party there in the Snake Pit. I've been to the Indy 500 13 times. I don't remember that. I do remember the golf course, and I do remember drinking and people running naked around me. I do. And I also did that same type of behavior at Talladega, where I knocked up 34C with Gunner. She was, they said the day she was, he was conceived, that it actually hit and took course was the day of the Spring Dega race at Talladega. And that's really an awful thing to have in your life, is that you impregnated your wife at Talladega. Think of that. Honestly, I've told that story many times on the air. It's not good. So Carver High has now advised me to go to GW Finn's for dinner this evening in New Orleans on I think it's Bienville Street or Bienville Street. I'm going to go there. I'm going to do it. I've done everything else he's advised me to do, and it's just been fantastic. The results, the end game. As you know, I took Mafia to dinner last night. He did say to me earlier today he does not want to hang out with me anymore because I got him so drunk. So he said, I don't want to go to dinner with you anymore or breakfast. At one point he said this morning, I'm working out, don't come to the gym. Like, he doesn't want me anywhere near him. So it may be, Carver High, that I have to go by myself to GW Finn's. And it just sounds exciting, like GW basketball and the Dolphins. I mean, how could I go wrong? So I'm looking forward to this. It's a big thing. I got to tell you, I had a lot of fun with Thurman Thomas and my guy Tyrone. I thought he was cool, too. You could tell that we've been, really, frankly, picking up steam. I think that, you know what I mean? Like, he was a really cool guy.
I gave this big impassioned speech to Thurman Thomas about how greatest performance by a losing running back in Super Bowl history, should have won the MVP, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he didn't hear a word of it because he didn't have an IFB in his ear. So he didn't hear me at all give him all that. That's why he looked at you and didn't have any idea what I was saying. So that was very unfortunate.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding?
But at
He
least
never
you
heard you?
it. He didn't hear me. But you heard me.
Oh, my
and
God.
You know that.
How did you?
He didn't hear any of it. He didn't hear any.
How did you know that? Like he just looked at you, and I guess he couldn't hear you. So that's the most embarrassing thing ever.
There was two reasons. Number one, I was expecting a little bit more reaction out of him. He gave me nothing. When I told him he should have won the MVP in Super Bowl 25, and then I was then I dug a little deeper, and I had to go and check and see if he had an IFB, and he didn't. So he didn't hear anything, and that's okay because the people that are there with you, we usually don't do that because nobody's talking to me, so nobody's there to listen to what I got to say. So that's my fault.
So
it's very unfortunate.
At least I told him that you're. We tried to name your children the Terminator and Ray Lewis, and he was laughing so hard. He said it was the most fun. He literally said to my face, "That was the most fun I've ever had at a Super Bowl Radio Row interview. That was hilarious." Right. He goes, "You're hilarious," and so we had a good time with him. I thought he was great. So
he was into it.
What are we doing now? Are you talking about more NBA? Is that what we're doing here?
Let me just at least go through a couple things from last night, and then I'll give you tonight's games. While we have time. The Bucks did beat the Hornets by 10, 112-102. I will play this one. I haven't gotten you really many NBA highlights this week, but since we have the time, Luke will get me this Cavs-Piston game from last night. So tied at 1:15, final moments, Cavs and Pistons, Darius Garland from the logo on FanDuel Sportsnet Cleveland.
What?
The Cavs are out of timeout. They need to go 94 feet. Niang back to Garland. Darius Garland over the timeline. Garland for the win. Oh! Darius with the dagger has finished the Pistons here tonight.
Are you serious? Wow. Are you serious? It was a half-court shot. It was great.
It was a good one. Nice job there by the Cavs. Spurs beat the Hawks 126-125. De'Aaron Fox made his debut. Not too bad. 24-13 for De'Aaron Fox against the Hawks last night. Nice debut.
Yeah, I actually think that he's a guy that can, make that, 32 and 15. I think, to me, 24 and 13 is boring for him, to be honest. I mean, it was a great debut. You never played with any of these guys before, fair enough, but he's so skilled that it's going to go up from there. That was just the appetizer. That's all there is to it. I mean, believe me when I tell you this guy can fill it up.
Yeah, and I played him for 25, so I wasn't feeling too good about it either. I needed him to get 25, and he had 24. So that's
a fail.
He's already off.
Fail on
he's
his
already
part.
off on the wrong foot with me in a San Antonio
he's a disappointment.
Spurs uniform. So couldn't get me one more point. Unreal. And he had 24 with like 4 minutes left in the game, too. And they just kept getting assists. Dishing.
He's a quitter.
Thanks a lot. The Wizards beat the Nets by 17. They've won 3 games in a row, improving their mark to 9-41 this year. So nice job by the Wizards. A nice effort by the Nets.
They still suck.
They do still suck. The Heat beat the Sixers 108-101. Nice job by you there. I know you had the Heat last night. The Grizzlies destroyed the Raptors by 31. 138-107. Smash City for the Grizz last night. Your boy Ant had, what did Ant have, 48 or 49 last night?
49.
49 for Ant. T-Wolves beat the Bulls 127-108 in that one. Jazz beat the Warriors 131-128. Nuggets beat the Pelicans. They smashed them in Denver 144-119. And the Thunder beat the Suns. SGA did have 50. His third 50-point game in his last 7 games. Your boy SGA on fire.
Do you realize that that's the only guy that's ever done it in fewer than 10 games? Like every guy, the closest one is like, no one's ever done, it's like 14, 19, games. This guy did it in 3 50-point games in 7 games. It's the shortest span ever for a guy to have 3 50-point games.
best dressed guy, let me tell you, next to me in terms of Radio Row. I want to get your thoughts quickly on the game, Philly and KC. How do you see it playing out?
Obviously you got Patrick Mahomes, who just finds a way to win. Then you got on the other side of the table an alien and, Barkley. I mean, he's had an incredible year.
Right.
I think whoever has the balls last is going to win the football game.
Only on SportsGrid.
I have no idea how to categorize what Mavericks GM Nico Harrison pulled off, Joe. All I know is that he shipped off Luka Doncic without telling Luka about it.
If you thought conditioning was a problem for Luka, wait till you get a load of Anthony Davis tripping over air and then missing 40 games because he's like Glass Joe's.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
So, back at the Radio Row in New Orleans, Carver High, you know what I think I'm going to have to do? Because I've had, what I do is I Uber here, and then I walk back. Because when you leave here at 5, there's tremendous traffic in New Orleans and in downtown and in the French Quarter, right? It's bumper to bumper. So if you're in a car in an Uber, you're going to sit in traffic for an hour. At least to go from here to that hotel. It's bumper to bumper. So I walk, right? And I have tremendous foot injuries. I have very sore feet. Because, usually I just play basketball and I play in shoes that I like. And the shoes that I brought here are not basketball playing shoes. They're dress hoop shoes, right? I have a pair of KDs that are nice. You see me with the different colors. And then I have I showed you these different colored New Balances that I've been wearing. And to be honest, my feet are killing me so bad, so bad. I mean, I'm not even kidding, so bad that today I wore my dudes. See if I can show them. Oh, there they are. They're like the dudes, the loafers. And there's a reflexology place right near the hotel where they do, feet and hands and shoulders and your head, and they do massages, not like Turner and Watson massages, but actual foot reflexology massage places. They put your feet in a tub for a while, and then they pull them out, and then they massage each foot for like a half hour, and your calves, right? And I think I'm going to have to go there today. I've literally, when the show is over, I'm going to go back, make a beverage, a double, like a really big, tall, double, stiff one, and then go down there with a buzz on, like a fresh buzz, and go down to the foot reflexology place and have my feet massaged because they're just killing me. And then I would go over to GW Finn's later for dinner. I don't think I can make it walking. I've walked so much on Bourbon Street. I've walked from the convention center to the hotel. I've literally walked, 12, 15 miles here while I've been here. And I've had enough of it. And not only that, it's hot as balls here. So imagine this. It's like 75 with 90% humidity. So you understand? It don't matter that it's 75. It's the humidity that it's so sticky and muggy that you're just sweating miserably, and you're just outside. You're just distraught. It's so hot. So I think I need help. I need support. I need someone to care for my body, my calves and feet.
Well, the place, GW Finn's, is very close to the Acme Oyster House. Maybe a block and a half, 2 blocks away. from where the Acme Oyster
God.
House was. And I will tell you, because I know last night
I saw your hotel last night, by the way.
The Royal Sonesta from Cousin Sean's wedding. You saw that one over there.
Yes. Yes.
You were going. Last night you asked me a dress code question about the Acme Oyster House, and I told you it's really not that. It's pretty laid back. You're not gonna have a problem with whatever you want to wear in there. This place, though, GW Fins, is maybe just a step above that in terms of the dress code. Might need a little bit of the dress code at GW Fins, but it's a real. So it's a nice spot.
I need to wear pants and a button down.
I mean, it's a little bit nicer than the Acme Oyster House, so you might need to do that.
All
but
right.
if you're going, if Mafi's ditching you and you're going solo and sitting at the bar, maybe you might be all right. But if you get a table and stuff, you probably need some pants.
I'll probably if I go there myself and sit at the bar. What's the over under on chicks hitting on me? Probably like a 75-80% chance.
It's probably somewhere in that area. Just make sure that you I think it's probably in that area. You got to get, what did I get when we were there at the GW Fins? I'm going to have to see what they had on the menu there. Oh, yes. They had the crispy pork belly there. The crispy pork belly at GW Fins. That's what it was all about. So make sure you line that up this evening when you're there. And the regular stuff, the oysters, all that. But you get the crispy pork belly as well at GW Fins, and you'll be straight.
And what does that taste like? What does that taste like? Crispy pork belly.
It's kind of like an elevated bacon. It's a little bit on the elevated side from that, but it's extremely good. So make sure you try that. We'll do tonight's games when we come back in the NBA. We'll get through all of tonight's games.
There's 6 games tonight.
It's finally here. The big game is just days away. And SportsGrid is live from New Orleans all week long, bringing you the latest news, insights, and analysis from the biggest names in the game. And on game day, we've got you covered all day long with expert picks, live odds, and everything you need to make the most out of the biggest game of the year. Don't miss a second, and it's all happening only on SportsGrid.
Best dressed guy, let me tell you, next to me in terms of Radio Row. I want to get your thoughts quickly on the game, Philly and KC. How do you see it playing out?
Obviously you got Patrick Mahomes, who just finds a way to win. Then you got on the other side of the table an alien, and Barkley. I mean, he's had an incredible year.
Right.
I think whoever has the balls last is going to win the football game.
Only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
back at Radio Row. Carver, how do you think that the reflexology massage parlor will actually help me massage the back of my ears from the headset ear injuries I have?
I'm sure if you explain whatever it is that you would like done, in certain aspects, I'm sure they'll be able to help you out. In certain, something like that around the ear. I'm sure you're going to be okay. If that's something that you would like them to do, I'm sure that you're good.
I can't tell you how bad they hurt. Like, honestly, I may pour whiskey on myself in the next break and set myself on fire. I mean, it hurts so bad. Like, as you know, I'm not a wussy at all, but there's nothing quite like having nails put in your skull.
Nobody likes that. Nobody likes having nails put into their skull, that's for sure. We have 6 games in the NBA tonight for you. Why don't we try to get through those now? The Mavericks are in Boston against the Celtics this evening. Mavs still don't have any of these guys, no AD and others, so they are getting 11.5 in Beantown. 231.5 is the total. No.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I don't know, man. I still like Dallas with that number. I know he's not there yet and not playing, but I like, Gabbert. I like Irving. I like P.J. Washington. I like that team. I think the numbers, and I think it's too obvious that the Celtics are going to blow them out, right? I mean, they've been getting blown out since this whole thing started. You might be right. Are you leaning Boston because of the way the Mavericks have kind of tanked?
PJ's out, too. So no PJ, no AD, obviously no Lively. He's been hurt. They just got Martin. He's not playing either. So they're missing a lot of bodies tonight.
All right, well then, so then it sounds like they have no chance. Give me Boston.
Lay it. We're laying it. Lay the 11.5 with the Celtics. Why not?
All right.
The Rockets are in Minnesota against the Timberwolves. T-Wolves minus 1.5, 214.5 is the total in that one.
I mean, they looked good last night, didn't they? And Edwards had this huge game. Can he back it up tonight against the tough Rockets? I'll tell you what, I'm taking the Rockets and the 1 point.
I'm with you. We'll go Rockets here this evening with the T-Wolves on the streets. T-Wolves at home, Rockets on the streets. Magic, after losing last night, the Magic won last night, right? Where were the Magic last night? They won in Sacramento. Now they're playing a back-to-back in Denver against the Nuggets, who also played last night. Minus 6.5 for Denver, 218.5 the total.
I feel like they're on par and in concert with one another. I think they're literally, they both played last night. They both won last night. The difference is that they had to fly down to Denver from Sacramento. What's that, 2 hours? So I actually think the number's too high for the Nuggets. I don't think they're going to blow out the Magic. So I'll take the 6.5.
There you go, 6.5 there. Warriors and the Lakers tonight at the Crypto in Los Angeles. Lakers minus 6.5, 222.5 is the total. Of course, still no Luka. Hopefully this weekend for the Lakers to make his debut.
I still like the Lakers here at the Crypt tonight against the Dubs. I mean, I saw the Dubs blow that game against the Jazz in Salt Lake Shakers. I say they lose in L.A. by 8 or more.
The Trailblazers, as we know, are red hot. 9 out of 10. They've covered in 10 straight games. They have been outstanding. And tonight, now, this is a change. They were dogs in all 10 of those games. And now the books have caught up, Scotty. The Blazers minus 1.5 against the Kings tonight in Portland. 230.5 is the total.
So remember, they were dogs in every single game, and they covered 10 straight games. Now they're favored, and tonight they will lose to the Kings at the Moda in Rip City. Now that they're favored, they will lose.
That is usually how it goes, right? You back a team for so long in that spot, they finally make them a favorite, and you know they're just not going to come through for you. And finally, the last game tonight, late night, 10:30 East tip at the Intuit Dome. Pacers and the Clippers. Clips minus 4.5. They might be a little shorthanded because, of course, they made a few deals today, but they are favored. Pacers have been playing really good aside from that loss in Portland the other night. 229.5 the total.
I mean, they had, I think they had won 4 of 5 until they got whacked Tuesday night in Portland. Yeah, I don't know. I got to be honest with you. I'll take a stab with them. I'll take a stab with the Pacers tonight at the Intuit against the Clippers. I'll take the 5.
I'm with you. I'm going to take the Pacers also. This evening at the Intuit. I think they're going to win the game outright over the Clippers. So I'll go with you there with the Pacers. So there you go. 6 games tonight in the association to get you going here. I did want to give you more of a full update on the golf because I have not able to do that yet. And I figured I would try. You know that we actually also have 2 things going on. Live started today too. I know that we didn't get. I quickly gave some picks yesterday at the end of the show, but Liv played in Saudi Arabia this afternoon, or this morning, really, is where they were. So I'm going to give you the Liv update, but first let me give you the Waste Management. Justin Thomas still tied in the clubhouse at 5 under, along with Nikolai Højgaard. Jake Afternoon nabbed Christian Bezuidenhout, the Poseidon Adventure, at 4 under as well.
The Poseidon Adventure.
Corey Connors, Andrew Putnam's 4 under through 9. So he's got a shot maybe to get some first-round leader action. I've got
Skins
Adam Hadwin,
game.
who's 2 under. Yeah, Skins, who Skins, a 300-1 first-round leader, unfortunately finished at 3 under. So Skins did give us a little bit of a ride, but unfortunately did not come through. So I have been watching the 16th, because, of course, we play the hole-in-one prop at the crazy 16th hole, the stadium hole, where everybody throws the beers on the grass if it gets done. So we would like to have that. Liv is in Riyadh, of course, in Saudi Arabia. They played under the lights in the dark in order to do it earlier this afternoon in more of an Eastern Standard Time. Adrian Moronk at 10 under leads, Sebastian Munoz and Lee Westwood also involved at 7 under. Caleb Surratt, who I gave you yesterday, is 6 under and 4 back. So Surratt's in the top 5.
Bob Surratt.
And, your boy Bob Surratt. And Ram is hanging around at 5 under as well.
How about this? What about this Højgaard guy? There's 2 of them. What do they got? Twins?
Yes. There's Nikolai and there's Rasmus. There's 2 Højgaards. They're twin brothers. Both of them are in the
mix. They're both in the top 10.
They're both in, yes. How's he play? Yeah, Rasmus is there as well. There's a bunch of Højgaards
3 under.
That we have. 3 under, your boy.
So, So
right
what did my boy Hadwin in the Angry Inch? What did he shoot?
Well, he's still out there. He's 2 under through 5, which is a great start for us if we could get him to first-round leader. He's 100-1 first-round leader. He's 2 under through 5. He's got a lot of holes left out there to get to 5 under or better, which we would love to see today if we could get.
I saw your boy Tom Hardy is 2 under.
Oh, Hardy, the Hardy boys getting involved. There you go, the golf update for you as well on a Thursday.
It's finally here. The big game is just days away, and SportsGrid is live from New Orleans all week long, bringing you the latest news, insights, and analysis from the biggest names in the game. And on game day, we've got you covered all day long, with expert picks, live odds, and everything you need to make the most out of the biggest game of the year. Don't miss a second, and it's all happening only on SportsGrid.
Best dressed guy, let me tell you, next to me in terms of Radio Row. I want to get your thoughts quickly on the game, Philly and KC. How do you see it playing out?
You know, obviously you got Patrick Mahomes, who just finds a way to win. Then you got on the other side of the table an alien and, Barkley. I mean, he's had an incredible year.
Right.
I think whoever has the balls last is going to win the football game.
Only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, back at Radio Row in New Orleans for Super Bowl 59. It's been crazy here all week. Carver High, as you know. I mean, just massive throngs of people here. Am I hearing dogs barking? What is happening here?
You are hearing dogs barking. There's some dogs barking. Somebody's bringing a wild pack of dogs in behind you throughout the media center. There's a whole.
I know
it's like an Iditarod crew. They're bringing the Iditarod in. Like all the Huskies are coming in right behind.
I mean,
showing
dude,
off the Iditarod.
I've seen all the cop dogs, all the German Shepherds, the bomb and gun dogs. They mean business.
Would it really surprise you if somebody showed up there with a bunch of Iditarod Huskies and were walking through the place with a bunch of dogs?
No,
I mean, nothing would surprise you at this point.
No, but even less would be. I'd be even less surprised if someone pulled out a gun and, and did something crazy here. Like everywhere you go, it happens. And everywhere you go, there's people that are angry. Like everywhere you go, like I go down to Bourbon Street. I've seen a fight just about every night. I go down there and walk for a mile or something, and I mean it's just automatic. I get a 10-round middleweight fight down there.
What's going on? You sent me the story about the ticket prices. Like nobody could get rid of these tickets. Nobody wants to buy these tickets. They're down 58%. That's probably angering people, too. They probably went down there with extras thinking they'd get, a 10-piece for them, and instead they're going to get like half that or less. They're not going to get nothing for these tickets because nobody's there to see the Chiefs again.
It's got to be that or something, Mike, because, and I'm in that realm. I'm in that boat. Like, I don't care at all, and I don't want to be, like, bumming people out, but I don't care about this game. At all. Zero. And I know it's allegedly going to be this great game. Wasn't it supposed to be the great game the first time? It was a good game the first time. Do you think it can even live up to that first game? The first time they played, Mike, it was good. Is it going to live up to that again, or are we going to be disappointed? My lean is disappointment. And I think that whether it's sharps or otherwise, people have lost interest in it. As you know, I have not been sitting here talking football all week, all day on these shows. The shows have been very entertaining, without a doubt, and we've talked about everything and anything, and nobody wants to talk about that game. I talked to a couple people today, they were Ravens. They were on the Ravens, right? And I went over to do a show, and I said to him that I was from Pittsburgh, and I just wanted to say how much I effing hated their guts. They both started laughing, and no one ever, like, they did the interview, and they never talked about the game. And then they talked about Lamar Jackson winning the MVP tonight. I didn't talk about the game. I don't care about the game, and I think that's kind of the prevailing thing. Now, I won't deny that there's Chiefs fans here and Eagle fans here, and they're excited about the game, and I don't think anybody else is. And I think that's why there's some level of doubt in that they're going to get ratings and that they're going to sell these tickets. Those tickets aren't worth that kind of money to see this game. They dropped 58% in a week.
Yeah, I agree. That's probably. I think that a lot of people, and you know how it goes there in that place that you're at right now. 90% of the people that are in that room with you, none of them are going to the game. They're not sticking around for the game. Nobody's hanging out for the game. Everybody's gonna be out of there, and you're nowhere near that game. Most of the people that you're around in that media center right now. But yeah, unless you're a Chief or an Eagle fan. You asked me, will it be as good? You know, that game was 38-35 2 years ago. You had that
it was a great game.
You had that call at the end with Bradbury grabbing the jersey and them throwing that flag that set up the game-winning field goal. I don't think it's going to be as good as that game was. I don't. Now, whether that's because one team blows another team out or the game's, I think personally, going to be considerably less scoring than that game 2 years ago. I think this game's going to be an under. I think both defenses are a lot better than they were 2 years ago when they played that 38-35 game.
I'm not going to argue with that. I think you're right, and I think that Philadelphia's defense is serious, and I already know Spagnuolo's just fantastic, and his defense is kick-ass. Both of these teams are flat-out defensive teams, and I think, some would deem the Chiefs still can run the ball with Pacheco, et cetera, but we already know what Barkley's capable of and what Barkley has done. So the Eagles are going to try to pound the ball, and then I think it's going to help their passing game to be able to pound the ball with Barkley. And then I think their defense is going to force some 3-and-outs. I don't think that Kansas City's just going to move up and down the field on that defense. I really don't. I think that Mahomes has got his work cut out for him, to be honest.
I'm with you. I think he's going to have his work cut out to him, too. There's been no change here at all this week. We've been sitting 1.5 and 48.5 really since the middle to end of last week when it went from 49 to 48. So I still think you'll get it at some point this weekend. I don't think it'll be before you get out of town tomorrow. I think maybe it'll get down to 1, but this 1.5 just isn't budging, and rightfully so.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you think it's going to change when I leave? I don't.
I think this weekend
sure
you'll get some Philly money. I think there'll be some Philly money this weekend, closer to the game, that maybe will bang it down to 1, maybe a flat 1. But I don't think anything more than that. I don't think it's going to get higher. I don't think it's going to get to 2.5. I think if anything, it goes down 1/2 or so.
Yeah, listen. This is not going to be a 1-point game. All right, I just don't. I
agree.
really don't like.
I agree.
I think it's fool's gold. It's fool's gold. Like that, it's going to be a 1-point game, and it's going to be the greatest game ever played. I'm not buying that.
I'm not buying that either. We have Thursday's props that we have to do as well.
It's finally here. The big game is just days away, and SportsGrid is live from New Orleans all week long, bringing you the latest news, insights, and analysis from the biggest names in the game. And on game day, we've got you covered all day long, with expert picks, live odds, and everything you need to make the most out of the biggest game of the year. Don't miss a second, and it's all happening only on SportsGrid.
Best dressed guy, let me tell you, next to me in terms of Radio Row. I want to get your thoughts quickly on the game, Philly and KC. How do you see it playing out?
You know, obviously you got Patrick Mahomes, who just finds a way to win. Then you got on the other side of the table an alien and, Barkley. I mean, he's had an incredible year.
Right.
I think whoever has the balls last is going to win the football game.
Only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Back at Radio Row, so I had to shift to standing up, Carver High, because at one point there I was feeling like I was overheating. I was actually, there was a moment there where I may not, I don't know if I felt well. There was like a flash of not feeling well. Now, there was a lot of activity last night, as you know. I've mentioned this earlier. There was a lot of eating, and there was even more drinking. And there was late night hours, potential for red light district hours. And I was a part of all of it. I was in the middle. I was in the throes of all of it, I have to say. So when I was doing the last segment with you, I noticed that I was having the meat sweats, and I had no meat. I had oysters and rum. So I have some kind of perhaps a flash of illness. I don't know if I'm getting something. Maybe it's just maybe it'll pass. But I thought maybe I should stand up and try to, revive myself. Like right now I'm jumping up and down, get in some jacks, get in some jumping jacks, and then maybe I'll snap out of it. Earlier I did a show, and I looked like I jumped in a lake. I was sweating so bad that I had to go outside, and I took my clothes off, much to the chagrin of many people. It was sunny and hot, 75, 90% humidity. I was outside with no shirt on, and I was waving my shirt that was soaking wet, dripping soaking wet, and I waved it in the air I just went back and forth with it and whipped it for a half an hour to dry it, and it worked. Then I put it back on and came in here and came to do the show. So I've already had 2 rounds of full sweat. I mean, just jumping in a lake sweating. And now I feel a little better that I've stood up. And I'm trying to grind it out today. I'm in a position of, we have a little over an hour to go. Now, show me by state what's happening with the betting.
Yes. So as you would expect, really everywhere is on the Eagles. This is actually from, I'm going to give you this, from BetMGM. Every state where they have betting is on Philadelphia except Kansas. Look at all the green on that map. I know you can see it. There's green all over the map, and then one little thing of red in the middle there. Everyone going to the window with the Eagles.
Oh, well, then Kansas City's going to win the game.
That's probably the case.
That's that.
That's probably what's going to happen.
So they're going to clean up on all the losses. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
They're going to clean up. There's your answer right there. Who's winning the game? Is that betting state by state? Look at that. Every single state in the union, all of them betting on the Eagles. They're all going to lose their money, and the sportsbooks are going to make a windfall.
Yes, they are. All right, how about the props? Every day we've given you 5 props for the Super Bowl. Let's get Thursday's slate on the board here. Woo! Let's go. All right, first, both teams to have a lead in the second half. How about that? Both teams to have a lead in the second half, plus 142 for that. Plus 142. Again with the numbers. What happened here? Plus 142. Both teams to have a lead in the second half. Next, total sacks in the game, over 5.5. That's plus 116. Over 5.5 total sacks. I told you, I think under 48.5. I think that both defenses are going to play well. Over the 5.5 sacks for both teams combined. Next,
So sacks
over 5.5. Next, both teams to make a field goal of at least 33 yards. 33 yards or more, both teams to do it. Minus 108 is where we are going to have that. I gave you that longest field goal early in the week, over 47.5 yards. But both teams to make at least 33
was
will
the
go
guy
there.
that did the numbers on the board? Was he on heroin? What happened?
I'm gonna ask him in a second. Tyree, here's I got a basketball one for you today. Tyrese Maxey and the Eagles combined on Sunday over 59.5 points at plus 200. I hope Maxey can put 35 or 40 in, and then we only need 20 or 25 from the Eagles. We'll get over that 59.5. And my big bomb today, DeAndre Hopkins, 40 yards receiving at plus 630. I think Hopkins is going to be involved here, Scotty. Only 40 yards. That could be one catch. Plus 630 for Hopkins to get 40 yards.
I love that. I love that bet. I don't like the Maxey because I think Maxey's good for like 30 at best. And then you want an under, so how are you going to go over 59.5?
To solve all this tush-push and fourth down malarkey that goes on with the officials, here's a crazy idea. Get rid of the worst rule in the NFL, and that is forward progress. How about this? Where I knock your ass in the ground is where the ball goes, period. Let's end this whole conversation. Like, if I drop you back 4 yards, then you lost 4 yards. If we get rid of forward progress, this tush-push and everything else is taken care of. Where I put your tail on the ground is where the ball goes. End of conversation. It's the dumbest rule and the most arbitrary rule. The only thing that is a worse call in the NFL than forward progress is the punt that goes out of bounds when you watch the official walk down the sideline having absolutely no clue where that ball crossed over. All I can think of is that Price is Right game go do-de-do-de-do, do-de-do-de-do, as he's walking down the sideline, arbitrarily trying to figure out where the ball crossed over because he's got no clue.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
But is it just a matter of his contract, his age? I mean, usually things like this get fixed pretty quickly, but this one is not fixed, and now it's just super uncomfortable.
The opportunity or the idea of getting another team involved adds more complication to the situation, and it doesn't seem like a resolution is anywhere in sight, but the more suspensions come in, the more it's clear that the saga is over, or his time there is over.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.